everyone. So my name is Brianna and I was really inspired to make a video. I didn't really know what it was that I wanted to make a video about, but as I thought about it more, I wanted to talk about life after college. So I am 23. I just graduated from college in May. So it has been a little over 6 months. So it's actually been more than 6 months. I can't count. But basically, I know a lot of people my age are dealing with, going to school and college and trying to figure out what's next and what happens after college. So this is going to be a video on life after college, and this of course is only from my viewpoint and kind of things that I've been dealing with. So if you're interested in the video and want to watch the video, stay tuned and take a look. I graduated from school in May with a degree in journalism and mass communications, and my senior year of school I was not really sure what was going to happen next. As a child, you're kind of always told what to do and you know what's happening. So, you're in elementary school, and then from elementary school, you have middle school, then you have high school, and then it's kind of like, okay, college after high school. But after college, it's kind of like your time to choose whatever it is and whatever path that you want to have. So I knew that I wanted to get a full-time position somewhere. I kind of been tired of school, and it was a thought that I did want to pursue graduate school and go on to get another degree. But I knew after 4 years of college, I just wanted a break from school. I wanted to work. I wanted some real world experience. So it was kind of difficult. I found a lot of places that I thought would be great to work at. I made like an Excel sheet, and I kept track of all the different companies and locations and places I applied for, and I had a lot of rejection. A lot of places require a good amount of experience, and that was something that I kind of had trouble with, because how are you to gain experience if people expect you to already have experience? It was just something that I kind of struggled with, and so I knew where I wanted to go after college. I absolutely love Charlotte. Like, I absolutely love Charlotte, North Carolina, and I knew that that was where I wanted to go after school. And so it kind of was nice because I had an idea of where I wanted to go, but next I needed to know what I wanted to do. And so as I applied to a lot of places and had a lot of rejection, I kind of dealt with it hard, because I didn't really know what would happen. Like, I was so stuck on moving to Charlotte and, living in my dream location that I did not want to budge. And I kind of felt as if it might turn into that. Like, if I was going to find a job and make a living, I may have to sacrifice my dream location. So I decided that although I wanted a full-time position, that maybe right now the best way to gain experience is by applying to internships. And that is when things started being great. I still applied for full-time positions, but I started to apply for internships. And the more internships I applied to, the more opportunity I saw. So I had applied for one particular internship, and it was a well-known company, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to get that position, but I'm just going to apply because I don't want to have any regrets, and why not? What's the worst that can happen? No. Like, receiving a no, receiving a rejection, I was like, well, that's nothing uncommon that I haven't received. I'll be able to get over it. So I applied for an internship, and I just knew I wasn't going to get it. But I applied, and that exact same day, so I applied for the internship, went to Walmart. Whenever I was coming back from Walmart, I just happened to check my email, and I saw that I got an interview. And I was kind of like taken aback. I was kind of like, I just knew I wasn't gonna get this. So when I got an interview the same day I applied, it was crazy. It was crazy to me. So I basically had my interview. Um, and one thing that I want to stress is make connections fully and 100%. Like, LinkedIn is a great resource. On top of LinkedIn, like personal connections that you might have. So like whether it's someplace that you want to work or someplace you want to intern, or you're interested in some location or company and you know people who, you know, are connected to that company or connected to that location. It's honestly great just to reach out, because one thing that I've noticed is that people love to help people. And in my situation, there was someone that worked at this company that I applied for. And through a mutual friend, I was able to get in contact with her, and she was a really great network for me. So I had my first round interview, and it was over the phone, and it was with a recruiter, and it went well. It went so unbelievably well that I like hung up that phone, and I was kind of like, wow, that did not feel like an interview. It felt just like a conversation. And like from that first interview, I was kind of like, this has to be where I like come and intern for. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to be anywhere else. So the first interview went well. I moved on to the next round and had a Skype interview. And so the Skype interview was a panel of 3 different employers of the company. And what was so interesting is that contact that I had a mutual friend with that I had been talking to, she was on that interview. She was one of the 3 people on that panel. So definitely make connections, because when you have someone in your corner like rooting for you, then anything is possible. So I had my interview with all three members of the panel, and from there, I was offered the internship. And the internship was in my dream location, and I just knew that I have an internship, and now I really can prove to myself and to the others that like this is where I need to be, this is where I want to be. And so the internship was a 10-week program, and within this 10-week program, I just knew that like I had to deliver, and I wanted to deliver. So I started my internship 10 days after graduation, and from that start of the internship until the very end of the 10 weeks, it was an amazing experience. It was so amazing that I did not want to leave, and they did not want me to leave either. And I was offered a full-time position, not even at the end of my internship. It was before my internship ended, and I was offered a full-time position, and I accepted. Um, so use that as an example that a lot of times you may have a goal for yourself, and you may have an idea in your mind of what you want to happen, but sometimes life is not like that, and life will completely be random, but at the end of the day, however and wherever you're supposed to be will happen. You definitely will not be around everyone that you're used to when you graduate. And for me, luckily, my closest friends were in the same city that I was moving to. And it worked out that my best friend and I were able to get our first apartment together. And that I feel is very rare. I don't really know how often that happens for anyone else, but it was nice because at the end of the day, I felt reassured that even though I was moving and going to a new place and starting a new job full time, I knew that, you know, I had a group of friends that I could depend on. And even though that was a great feeling, I was still scared. You still are scared even when you have people around you for starting a new life. So my roommate and I got our first apartment together, moved in together, and we had lived together in college. So we already knew what it was like to stay together. So that was very convenient to know that, like, I didn't have to worry and try to find a one-bedroom apartment, and I didn't have to, you know, move to a new place with no one because I had my close friends. But as time went on, I did struggle with having my close friends by, but us being on different paths of life, because all of my other friends who did move to Charlotte are in the education system, and with them being in the education system, they were tired a lot because they're dealing with kids and teenagers all day, and then after work have to, you know, grade papers or make lesson plans. And so even though they're done with work maybe at 2, 3, or 4 o'clock, their work isn't really done because they're having to do things afterwards. So with me, I went to work, and at 4 or 5 o'clock, when I was done with work, I was done. I didn't have anything to do. So after work, I was, like, you know, pumped and excited and wanting to do things and to discover the place that I live. And a lot of my friends didn't have that same passion in life. And so, you know, in the beginning I did struggle because I was kind of like, we're young, like we're 21, 22, and 23-year-old people, like independent, living in a great new city, and y'all don't want to do anything. Like, that's annoying. But as I thought about it more, I just realized we're on two different paths, and like, I can't be upset that, you know, a friend is doing something that they love to do and enjoying their career the same way that I'm enjoying mine. It's just that they're more tired than I am, and like, they're having to do more work than I am having to do after a certain time, because I don't have to bring my work home with me. So I did struggle with wanting to meet and find new friends while living in Charlotte. And I don't know if you feel the same way as me, but it's so easy making friends in college. But in the real world, it is hard. Like, you, of course, you know, you have coworkers and you have relationships with your coworkers, and that can develop into a great friendship. But as far as like me and getting a job after college, I'm 23 and was 22 when I first got my job. And my coworkers are like 28, 29. And so they're a lot older than me, and they have different paths of life. So, you know, some of my coworkers are married, and some have been in long-term relationships and are in long-term relationships, and me, like, I'm, you know, wanting to have fun. And so I did struggle on the friendship path of trying to find friends and make friends. So during that time, I really invested in myself, and like, I learned how to enjoy my own company, and I enjoyed, you know, going to the gym and like having me time and finding time that I can do things and be fun and content on my own. And so it really allowed me to be independent. And on top of that, it really opened doors to do things that I normally wouldn't do. So I started a food Instagram, so that way I could discover food in Charlotte that I normally wouldn't have done, because food is universal. Like, you could go to a restaurant with yourself, with your friends, it can be interactive or it can be independent. And so a lot of new things I attributed to the different paths that myself and my friends went on. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe write a comment below telling about what your life and experience was after college. Or maybe you're in college right now and you have fears for what comes next. Write them below, because I'm sure all of us can relate. So, thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.